Police find a massive collection of 500,000 child sexual abuse images.
We cannot assume that this could never happen to our children.
An Okotoks man now facing charges in a disturbing investigation. Plus, Premier Danielle Smith travels to Quebec.
I look at Quebec and Montreal as being our gateways to Europe.
A discussion centered on energy and autonomy. And quick thinking at the edge of a pond. Two friends launch a rescue to pull a moose calf to safety.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. A park in the Beltline was the scene of a shooting just a couple of hours ago. Tyson Fedor is at Connaught Park tonight, and Tyson, police are still there trying to figure out what happened.
Police are continuing to investigate here, Tara, as they've been taking photos, collecting video evidence of the scene behind me on this park bench. You can see scattered items across. A cell phone is there. There's some discarded clothing. There's also a bottle of vodka here at the scene. Now, as you mentioned, police did come here around 4 o'clock for reports of a shooting this afternoon. One man was taken to hospital in serious condition. Several people were taken into custody for questioning. Some have been released, but police do say that their possible involvement in the shooting is not yet confirmed and the investigation continues. Some of those people have also been released. Now, one witness who does live nearby across from the park says he heard a single gunshot.
I'm inside, I hear a gunshot. I come outside, people are running around, that's it. Cops show up within about 3 minutes. Right now, I'm worried about people inside my building and I'm worried about just the neighborhood we are, just not safe.
Now, Connaught Park is a very small inner city park with a nearby off-leash dog park. This is on the corner of 14th Street and 11th Ave here in the southwest. Police are going to remain here for some time as they continue to investigate here. But many witnesses in this area, very busy intersection, especially at the time just before rush hour. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. A shocking find at an Okotoks home. More than 500,000 child sexual abuse images and videos. A 35-year-old man is now facing charges after police uncovered that massive collection. As Alicia Philberg reports, even more unsettling is the long-term impact it could have.
35-year-old Corey Earhart is charged with possessing and accessing child sexual exploitation materials after Alberta's Internet Child Exploitation Team seized the largest collection it's ever uncovered.
I was astonished to find that this volume of images received in one instance was half of what we recovered last year.
More than 500,000 videos and images of child exploitation were seized from his home in the town of Okotoks.
That's shocking.
That's upsetting because there are so many young families, right?
Police arrested Earhart at his home May 26th, then seized hard drives and computers. He was released from custody and is scheduled to appear in Okotoks court in August. He's also set to appear in Calgary court for earlier charges related to a big drug bust at the airport. Police say there are tens of thousands of victims, including very young children, but they don't know who they are or where in the world they might be.
It's difficult. A file like this deserves to be examined and analysed to try and identify who these victims are.
Child advocacy groups say images can continue to harm victims and survivors as they circulate long after the sex abuse.
This is an egregious act against children that we need to take seriously. We are far behind other countries when it comes to protecting our kids in the digital world.
Police say the more than 500,000 image and video collection is also deeply disturbing because it was likely used to trade and fuel demand, which could lead to more abuse.
But each image represents a child that's been exposed to sexual exploitation. And this is very alarming given the volume of material that we've recovered in this one incident.
Alicia joins us from Southwest Calgary tonight. Alicia, this shocking case is just the tip of the iceberg.
Tara, Alert's Internet Child Exploitation Team says they receive several tips about this each year, but only can go after about 2%. So they're working to find more efficient ways to tackle this, to hold more people to account. Now, anyone who has information about this case is asked to contact their local police service. Tara?
Alicia, thank you. A child was rushed to hospital this afternoon after being struck by a vehicle in the northeast. It happened on 48th Street in Rundle around 2 o'clock. The child's injuries are not life-threatening and police are still investigating. 2 men are recovering after they were struck in a crosswalk in the northeast yesterday afternoon. They were hit by a minivan turning left and the impact threw them several meters. Police say speed, alcohol and drugs are not factors. Water levels on the Bow and the Elbow have now peaked and they are expected to remain elevated for the next few days. Because of this, a no boating advisory is still in place. The city says widespread overland flooding is not expected, but about a dozen low-level pathways remain closed. 311 has received 470 requests to clear catch basins and address pooling water since Saturday. They have been able to get to about half of them already. Let's bring Danielle in now. So the rain has ended. We're getting back to some normal temperatures now.
Yeah, normal temperatures. A beautiful day today. The winds were calm. The sun was out. Yeah, we had issues with this past system, of course. I mean, for farming communities, good news. But in the city alone, there were power outages and there were a lot of flooded basements. This is the system, and it doesn't look quite as impressive often to Saskatchewan. When it was here, it was pushing up against the mountains, and that was creating some upsloping, which enhanced the amount of rainfall that we saw in Alberta from this. Next system on the way, it impacts us tomorrow, but it will be nowhere near what we had with this past system. 18 degrees is the temperature right now, gusts around 31 kilometers per hour. The sun is out. Fog patches developing tonight and through tomorrow morning. We likely won't see as much sunshine out there for tomorrow, so mainly cloudy skies with some sunny breaks and certainly fog patches in the morning. And after 4 p.m. we get into the risk of some thunderstorm activity because of that system approaching. Your full forecast is just ahead, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Independence referendums and complementary industries were on the speaking agenda as Alberta's Premier met with the leader of Quebec today. Danielle Smith says she wants to pitch the Eastern province on cooperation and partnership, and experts believe there is a lot of middle ground to mine. Tim Brooke explains.
Alberta's Premier was out east Wednesday for a meeting with the new Premier of Quebec.
We have the opportunity for an incredible collaboration and partnership on trade.
Thank you. And let's get to work.
Yeah.
The small language barrier aside, Danielle Smith and Christine Frechette say they're on the same page. Both want to make interprovincial trade simpler and partner in manufacturing, tech, agriculture, and of course, energy.
Alberta is keen to collaborate on an east-west energy corridor as discussion about energy, sovereignty and security become increasingly relevant. This is something I look forward to discussing with Madame Frechette, who expressed her interest in the idea.
Smith told business leaders Quebec can be Alberta's gateway to Europe in the same way BC is its gateway to Asia. But out west, there are still questions about expanding that gateway.
We're waiting for the proponent to come forward with the route that they want to propose. That's how the MOU was structured, and that's how we will work with Alberta and British Columbia on this issue.
Any infrastructure, east or west, will need Indigenous partnership. And right now, many First Nations say separation sentiment isn't making them eager to do business.
It's a red flag. How do you expect to move any type of project forward here in our territories when we don't know who we're dealing with? You know, industry wants certainty.
Back in Quebec City, both premiers say there's a lot of common ground between their provinces, and experts believe Smith wants there to be even more.
Sometimes described as asymmetrical federalism. Quebec has its own pension plan. It has opted out of some federal programs while still getting money from the federal government. And that's clearly the model that Danielle Smith wants for Alberta.
Tim joins us now. Tim, Quebec could also have a referendum focused on separation soon.
Well, Tara, there will be a provincial election there in October. And right now, Christine Frechette's incumbent party, is down quite considerably in the polls to an independence party. That's the Parti Québécois. That party has promised that if it wins in the fall, it will have a vote on separation before its mandate is up. Now, the latest numbers show that support for separation in Quebec is hovering right around 30%. Historically, that's a pretty low number, Tara, but it's still a few ticks higher than support for separation here in Alberta, at least according to the latest public opinion data.
Okay, Tim Burke reporting. Tim, thank you. Alberta's government has revealed the province's new driver's license, and it will include more information on it. The new cards will include a driver's personal health care number and a marker to show whether they are a Canadian citizen. Albertans will have to show proof of Canadian citizenship first. If you bring your health care card to a registry, that number can be added to the license. Drivers who aren't Canadian citizens will still have to show they're legally entitled to be in Canada. The new licenses will be phased in starting July 2nd.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
If you enjoyed watching a couple of Canadian Olympians at the Milano Cortina Games, you will have a chance to cheer them on at the Calgary Stampede. Courtney Sarot and Mikhail Kingsbury have been named the parade marshals. Sarot won 4 medals in Italy in short track speed skating, and Kingsbury won gold and silver in freestyle mogul skiing. They've both trained and competed in Calgary, but it will be the first Stampede for both of them.
I heard a lot of things, and I've seen many videos and stuff about the Stampede, but I've never been. And what a better way to have my enjoy my first Stampede.
When I found out I was going to be riding a horse, I thought that was pretty cool. And you don't get to ride a horse every day. Well, not in Montreal. That's where I'm living. So maybe in Calgary they ride horses more than in Montreal.
The Stampede says the pair was chosen for representing excellence, resilience, and Canadian pride on the world stage. And mark your calendars, the parade is Friday, July 3rd, 1 month from today. If you can't make it in person, don't worry, CTV has you covered. Our award-winning live parade broadcast begins at 8:55 a.m. on TV and online. A local man is thanking the actions of his quick-thinking friends who jumped into action to save a stranded baby moose last week. Stuart Gray spotted the baby while out for a walk on his Millerville ranch. He says the animal was very young, likely only a few weeks old. He called a friend who moved in to pull it out of the mud and haul it to safety.
As you saw Rob trying to get out of there. So unless you're standing right on top of a root ball, the reeds there, you're plunging down quite a bit. So that little guy he was going to have a hard time getting out of there.
Gray says the calf first walked up to his bull, but soon realized his mistake. He says he's certain the baby's mom was waiting nearby, and they reconnected soon after. Seeding is delayed for many Alberta farmers. A cold late spring and then 3 months of rain in 3 days has some northern landowners watching from the sidelines. And later, an incredible Alberta dance troupe with some surprise guests steals the show in Hollywood. In southern Alberta, the Oldman River continues to rise. It is expected to crest tonight. Residents are still being asked to conserve water for the time being because the water treatment plant can't keep up with demand. Crews are hoping operations will begin to return to normal once the river peaks and the flow slows down. It is a slow start to the seeding season for many farmers in northern Alberta. The rain has forced them to just stop what they're doing, and now they're running out of time. As CTV's Evan Kenny reports, they could be waiting a while yet.
It's quiet at this farmer's field near St. Paul, a bad sign this time of year. It's because of this.
Some guys have barely even started, some guys are just about finished, but this will put us back another week, 2 weeks.
Josh Robbie was about 2/3 of the way through seeding his 2,500 acres when the water started coming down. In his 20 years on the farm, he's never seen so much rain to start the season.
Maybe a few inches, but never 6. It's too bad it couldn't have been spread out over the month instead of one weekend.
Robbie and many other farmers in northern Alberta are having to change what crops they're planting.
It already has limited us to certain crops.
After a cold late spring, plus this moisture, wheat is off the table for many farmers. The window to plant canola is nearly closed.
You really don't know if you're going to have a late spring and an early fall, and that would be the most dangerous combination of all. And we have no way of predicting that at this point.
Farmers can still grow barley or oats, but they'll have to wait for the ground to dry, which won't happen soon.
They had as much rain in 3 days as they would normally get in April, May, and June combined. They probably get another 30 to 50 millimeters by the end of the weekend. Most of that coming over the weekend.
Which will lead to a small yield, and the consequences will rain down on consumers.
It's just another thing that'll add to grocery prices. Because if a lot of the crops don't get seeded, or if they're flooded out, there just won't be as much grain.
Ag experts say while the conditions are poor for crops, the weather should benefit livestock farmers and their pastures. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
I mean, sadly, we do sometimes call this monsoon June, so we should be used to the rain by now.
Yeah, and that was a good amount of rain, over 100 millimeters of rain in the city. So, of course, that led to some flooding in the basements, overland flooding. But it was actually quite reasonable in the city in comparison to what could have happened. We did have some power outages as well. But for agriculture in southern Alberta, it was a good news story for the most part. Okay, temperatures have climbed up to 18 degrees in the city. At this time yesterday, we were only at 8. So temperatures are getting back to normal. A normal daytime high for this time of year in the city is 19 degrees. So we're where we should be. It's 17 in Pincher Creek. Check out Banff at 20 right now. 16 in Brooks and Medicine Hat. So much warmer temperatures today in comparison to what we've had since Saturday, basically. The winds have been calm today as well. Just 31 kilometers per hour. That was our max in Calgary, closer to that 40 mark in Medicine Hat. And yes, the sun has been out today, which has been so nice to get some vitamin D, dry up a little bit. When you drive through the city, the grass is very green out there. This is a look at the system that impacted us, that delivered all that rain. It's off into Saskatchewan now, but still some residual cloud cover on the east side of Alberta for sure. We do have a little bit of instability building along the mountains because of the next system on the way. This next system will be nowhere near what this system has been. And a big part of this system, it's a slow mover, but it was also pushed up against the mountains. That created air getting forced up the mountains, that upsloping. We're not going to get that with this next one. But with this next one, we do have the potential for some isolated thunderstorms later in the day tomorrow. All right, looking at Calgary right now, all that activity should continue to stay to the west of Calgary and off in the mountains. Not tomorrow, though, so I'm going to fast forward to tomorrow. Well, if the clouds increase throughout the day, there will be some sunny breaks at times likely, but not as much sunshine as we had out there today. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, this is when we get into the risk of thunderstorm activity, especially down QE2, Calgary, and down Highway 2 to almost Claresholm. And then it'll shift off to the east to Coronation and Hannah areas closer to 10:30 p.m. So some of these storms could reach a little more of a severe level with that larger size hail, but it should mainly remain for all thunderstorm activity non-severe tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking at a high of 19. Again, good chance of late day showers and thunderstorm activity. Smaller chance on Friday, a greater chance once again on Saturday. Temperatures will cool a little bit for the weekend. 17 on Saturday, 15 on Sunday. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
A Calgary daycare has been placed on probation because of ongoing non-compliance issues. A probationary license has been issued for Fit Kids Care. The province says the Northwest facility has not been providing adequate supervision, has not been correcting children's behavior in appropriate ways, and has failed to report incidents. If Fit Kids Care is unable to meet provincial standards by September 2nd, its license will not be reinstated. In the meantime, the government says a safety plan is in place. Alberta Health has issued a public alert for a measles exposure. An infectious person was at the Rocky View West Hills Medical Clinic. The exposure time period is May 11th between 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Anyone in the clinic during that time period is asked to watch for symptoms. Those who think they have measles should stay home and call the measles hotline. Just ahead, the U.S. president's plan for new tariffs, what Canada is being accused of, and the Prime Minister's response. And later, testing some dogs with jobs. Police canine teams are in Lethbridge this week, and we will tag along. The Trump administration is taking a new approach to global tariffs after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down previous ones earlier this year. The focus now is on curbing imports made with forced labor and a proposed new 10% tariff on Canada and other trading partners who allegedly failed to comply. Here's Abigail Beeman.
Hello.
Just hours after the U.S.-Canada trade minister said he had a positive meeting with Jamieson Greer, Greer's office said Canada is among the countries that could be hit with a new 10% tariff for failing to take action on forced labor. The failure of our most important trading partners to address the importation of goods made with forced labor is unacceptable. This creates a dynamic where American workers are forced to compete globally on an unlevel playing field, Greer said.
This is not a surprise.
The Prime Minister pointed out the vast majority of goods fall under the Canada-U.S.-Mexico free trade deal and won't be impacted. He says Canada supports the overall objective.
We made some changes earlier this year on things that candidly were not as effective, so there's ways we can change things legislatively. We'll be proposing that to the House in the coming weeks.
LeBlanc wouldn't answer whether he and Greer discussed Canada's move to allow some Chinese EVs into the market.
We don't discuss publicly the content of private conversations or private discussions.
U.S.-Canada expert Christopher Sands says the U.S. is intentionally moving some trade irritants outside CUSMA.
The good news is that might mean the USMCA could move as far as renewal, or that the negotiations could be more constructive going forward. The bad news is this is designed to keep the U.S. with leverage, even if we renew USMCA, because we have the other issues that we could use to impose tariffs on Canada.
Now, these tariffs aren't in place just yet. Experts say important to point out there is a process. The USTR will hold hearings about them July 7th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
The province is putting $4 million into a new pilot project that will allow trades workers to continue to train while on the job. The pilot program uses an advanced learning platform to assess what workers already know and then adjust their learning so they can upgrade their skills and receive certification faster. The pilot will be for 200 workers in high-demand trades like pipe fitting and welding. It's being done in collaboration with the Christian Labour Council of Canada, which has heard from workers who say they want to learn, but they don't want to lose hours in training.
It's streamlining that process so that people who have been telling us for years they need an answer to the question of how do I upskill and become more valuable to not just my employer, but to this industry.
Interested workers will be able to apply online in the coming weeks. The pilot is scheduled for 2 years. The federal government is demanding the CRTC review a recent decision that could lead to Canadians paying more for streaming services, and one that has become a trade irritant for the U.S. Last month, the CRTC announced large foreign streaming services would have to spend more of Canadian revenues on Canadian programming. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver explains.
The federal government appears to be backing away from its fight to force streaming giants to pay more for Canadian content, one day after what Canada called positive trade talks in Washington.
It's no secret to anyone that's been paying any attention to this that the USTR has identified these issues as a trade issue. It would be disingenuous to suggest that this is the single issue. The reality is we're impatient to make sure that the sector stays vital and stays supported.
Last month, the CRTC announced it was tripling the amount companies like Netflix and Disney had to pay for Canadian content, increasing fees from 5% of their Canadian revenue to 15%, a move the Conservatives strongly opposed.
When we debated this in the House of Commons, the Liberals faux-pas us. They made it sound like it was no big deal, that this tax was being widely accepted. That's not true.
Days after saying they couldn't act, Ottawa is now asking the CRTC to review that decision, saying it could increase costs for consumers.
It's actually good to see the government admitting that some of their the choices that they've made in terms of the legislation, in terms of the regulations, are actually going to have downstream impacts on consumers.
But many experts say it's about more than affordability. It's about appeasing the Americans who have repeatedly called the Online Streaming Act a trade irritant.
The CRTC's move was largely seen as provocative, an annoyance, an irritant to those trade negotiations. And so essentially what the federal government is doing is removing that annoyance from the playing field.
The streaming companies' fees were supposed to help Canadian producers, but no money has ever gone out. It's all been tied up in the courts. To help that industry, the Canadian government today announced a $600 million investment. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
CBS is facing another high-profile departure as new leadership at 60 Minutes fires one of the show's most well-known correspondents. Scott Pelley's firing follows a fiery staff meeting Monday on the show's future. CBS dismissed Pelley after he openly challenged the competency of the show's new executive producer and the recent firing of other CBS staff. Pelley has accused new CBS News chief Barry Weiss of intentionally trying to kill the program to please the Trump administration. It was exciting enough to be invited onto one of America's most popular TV shows, but this dance troupe and their impressive acrobatic moves took the studio by storm. That story's next. K9 teams from across Western Canada are in Lethbridge this week. 17 officers and their four-legged partners are taking part in the Spring K9 Seminar. The program features specialized training sessions, including tracking fundamentals and problem solving.
There's new, improved ways of doing every function that we do. So all the different things that the dogs can do, there's so many different ways we can train them. And so we find the best opportunities to just become better in doing that, to make the dogs better, handlers better, the whole unit better for where we serve.
Lethbridge Police has 2 canines on the street and 2 more in training. Dog performances and dance routines are pretty common on the reality TV program America's Got Talent. But one Alberta dog trainer's idea to combine the two wowed audiences and viewers on Tuesday. As Moses Woldu reports, there's much more to come.
Days on the acreage are quiet for Jennifer Fraser and her team of dancing dogs.
Hop, hop, hop. Yeah, good boy.
But not long ago, these were the scenes on the set of America's Got Talent.
We got a standing ovation from the judges. Howie was just shaking his fist. He was so excited. Simon had a huge smile on his face.
The first episode was released Tuesday. Fraser's dogs gave viewers a performance they won't forget. A combination of tumbling pups paired with a dance crew who know a thing or two about acrobatics.
Sometimes, acros might go a little different here or there, right? But yeah, it was challenging, but it was really fun.
In show business, they always say never work with animals and never work with kids. Well, I said, screw that. Let's put them together on the biggest stage in the world.
But Fraser wanted to dream big. The world-renowned dog trainer and Guinness World Record holder came up with the idea a few years after qualifying herself for America's Got Talent in 2020. But
COVID hit and they couldn't get us over the border. They tried to get a team up to Canada to film us. Didn't happen.
Searching across the province, Fraser managed to get the Supernova Acro team from Edmonton to sign on. And judging by the positive reaction, the duo are a perfect fit.
Together, it's pretty magical and just something that people haven't seen before, and I think that was a huge selling point.
The show-stopping performance earned them the Golden Buzzer, meaning they will move straight to the quarterfinal stage.
I think you could see in the younger ones' faces for sure, we were not expecting that at all. It was such an amazing, so special moment for all of us to be able to experience that all together.
Now the dancers and Fraser have time to cook up something special later this summer when they get to do it again. This time it will be live for the world to see.
Because I've got 14 dogs on my team, we're hoping to add new dogs every single round so that you're going to see something new every time you watch the show.
Moses Woldu, CTV News, Strathmore.
The team will head back to California in August. What could be better? You have talented kids, you have cute dogs. It's perfect.
It's awesome, right?
You guys.
Exactly.
All right, well, Stanley Pup, a friendly competition featuring adoptable rescue dogs, will air in the U.S. and Canada on Monday. And it is, of course, to celebrate the Stanley Cup final. Okay, so all 32 NHL teams will be represented by a four-legged friend, many of which will then later be available for adoption through the Brandywine Valley SPCA. They're in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Dog players will showcase their adorable canine skills on fake ice, of course, and they'll be joined by a number of players, including the Flames' Devin Cooley. So, of course, his partner is Devin Cawley.
Nice.
Oh, very cute. Very cute. Love it. Couple of years of training and those pups could be making moves like this smooth criminal.
I love this.
This is Tempo, the border collie, taking cues from the king of pop himself. Don't even worry. Don't even worry about dropping the hat, because she can flip it back onto her own head. No problem. It will not surprise you to learn nearly 34 million people have watched this pup's performance. They give her 4 paws up.
Okay, they are so smart, those collies.
I know.
Smooth
they can learn anything. Oh. Well, since we're celebrating talent, how about this 10-year-old from Manchester? Leonardo Patrick channeling the Beatles with his cover of the song Blackbird. This gifted guy has garnered quite a following on Instagram too. He's got 1 million people watching his music videos. He has a huge range. I watched a bunch of his videos. He plays Nirvana, Radiohead, Metallica, Ed Sheeran. He's really into the 80s and 90s music because that's what his parents listened to when they were teenagers, and they've introduced him to it. He is so talented, and he loves to be out busking.
He is really good.
Really
right?
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talented. Look how cute he is.
Yeah, he's
going to
adorable,
be
and he's really good.
Hugely famous one day.
Well, still to come, it's taken 18 months to assemble all the pieces, but now they are ready to be seen, and we will take you to a show celebrating the achievements of some very special Calgary artists.
Skywatch weather camera, what a beautiful day we've had. Look at how green everything is because of all that rain. The sun came out today, 18 degrees was our high. At this time yesterday, we were at 8 degrees, so quite a big difference in temperature. 19 was normal. We're basically right where we should be for this time of year and right where we should be for most communities in southern Alberta. But check out Banff. Banff is sitting at 20 degrees, and we will get there in Calgary too. We just need another day. All right, let's look at wind gusts. The winds were calm today, just 30 in Calgary. And this is that system that is now tracked off to the east in Saskatchewan, just some residual cloud cover that's starting to push its way out of the east end. This is the next system on the way, though. This means more cloud cover for tomorrow than in comparison to what we had today. Also, isolated showers are possible, and late day thunderstorm as well. We could also get some fog patches developing tonight through early tomorrow morning. So it's a bit of an unsettled day, but there will be parts where we'll see some sunny breaks as well. And of course, this system will be nothing like what the last system was like. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. For Kamloops and Kelowna tomorrow, 25 and 24 degrees. Showers for Fernie. We have rain possible Grand Prairie, Slave Lake, Edmonton, Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House. And by Edmonton and down QE2, we have the risk of thunderstorm activity. Olds included, Calgary, even Drumheller and High River. And a little bit on the windy side for Lethbridge and Pitcher Creek with 50-kilometer-per-hour gusts for tomorrow. Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Brooks, Milk River, high of 22 tomorrow.
Thank you, Danielle. A man is in serious condition after being shot in Connaught Park in the Beltline. Several people are in custody for questioning, but police say their possible involvement is not yet confirmed. An Okotoks man is charged after police say an extensive collection of child sexual abuse material was discovered at his home. Corey Earhart is charged after police seized computers and hard drives. And the province will roll out new driver's licenses next month that will include a driver's personal health care number and a marker to show whether they are a Canadian citizen. Albertans will have to show proof of Canadian citizenship first. Tim Hortons is shutting down its latest credit card program just 3 years after it was launched. The program, powered by Neo Financial, will shut down October 1st. The cards will still work after that time, but transactions won't earn Tim's rewards points. This wasn't Tim's first credit card program. The company put out a splashy launch for its Double Visa card in 2014. It was discontinued in 2019. Zellers is expanding beyond its standalone store in Edmonton. 2 more stores will open in Ontario this year, 1 in Toronto, 1 in Windsor. And the company CEO says the plan is to slowly nationalize the brand once again. He says they're in negotiations on new leases in a number of cities, and that includes Calgary. Home sales in Canada's largest real estate market have jumped the most in 10 months as prices drop. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya.
In Toronto, it appears lower prices have begun to lure potential buyers off the sidelines. Home sales were up 10% in May compared to April, as the city's real estate board says the market tightened. The seasonally adjusted benchmark price of a home dropped 0.2% from the previous month to just under $928,000. And TREB expects sales to improve even more through the second half of the year. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.96. West Texas Intermediate is up to 96.02. Western Canadian Select also up to 76.72. And the TSX closed 360 points lower today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Parks Canada says it's still not known when the trail leading to Bow Glacier Falls will reopen. Last year, on June 19th, a rock fall in the area killed 2 hikers and injured 3 others. Parks Canada says nothing could have prevented or predicted the slide. It was the result of geological forces common in mountainous areas. Officials say a geological assessment is ongoing and the trail remains off limits. Anyone caught going into the closure area could face a fine as high as $25,000 or jail time. L'Arche Calgary is an organization that works with adults living with intellectual disabilities. It has a variety of programs for its members, and one focuses on exploring creative talents through art. Now L'Arche is hosting an art show to celebrate the achievements of those artists. Here's Kevin Fleming.
He loves to paint, and Patrick Nowry has a lot of finished pieces to show for it. He says painting makes him feel good. Patrick and about a dozen artists are showing their work at the L'Arche Calgary Art Show.
This is my first time selling art, but I do keep the most meaningful ones to me at home, and I have quite a bit.
Tyler Rogust has 5 paintings in the show, including a self-portrait. Tyler likes to use a lot of color in his pieces.
I like red, orange, blue, green.
L'Arche Calgary has members from 20 to 80 years old, and in the past year and a half, they've produced over 100 pieces for this art show. Lydia Isa Donvan is the day program leader and is impressed by all the artwork here.
Absolutely proud of each of the pieces that I see today, and today I really want to celebrate them and say thank you to everyone who was involved in this process, because it's truly amazing.
Stephen Hudson has been painting for 3 years, and he's already sold some of his pieces at the art show and likes all the variety here.
Fascinating. And so many paintings for sale. You can buy them.
Rochelle Namick's daughter has been a member of L'Arche for 19 years, and she's a big supporter of it.
My daughter is autistic, not artistic, so she has not contributed, but I am very proud because our community, I feel, is an oasis of inclusivity in a world of dissension.
The week-long art show is also a fundraiser, with a portion of sales going to the artist and the rest going to pay for programming and supplies. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
So the art show runs through to Saturday, June 6th on the 4th floor of C Space in Marda Loop. We have more information about the sale on our website. It is a monumental display of Canadian pride, the biggest Canadian flag ever produced. We'll tell you where it is and why. Grouse Mountain has unfurled what it says is the largest Canadian flag ever produced, spanning the size of 2 football fields. It's to welcome visitors to the city and to show support for Canada at the World Cup. Organizers say it represents a bold expression of national pride. It is expected to be one of the most photographed and shared images of the whole summer. It could even be entered into the Guinness Book of World Records. Looks great up there. Only a couple more sleeps before the Calgary Stampeders open up the regular season. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, because of all that rain, the Stamps had to practice indoors.
Yeah, Stamps practiced at the Calgary Soccer Center for a couple of days this week, Tara. Stamps head coach into the regular season, with quite a few injuries heading into the opener. The Stamps open up the regular season Friday night against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Stamps are a bit thin at defensive back. Sheldon Arnold was injured against the Stamps, the Elks, in their final preseason game. Stamps released Dev Bynum as well. Head coach and general manager Dave Dickinson says the Stamps kind of used to this situation.
We got to build a guy there. We build people last year, basically the whole secondary. They were all new. So we've done it before. It's nice to only have to basically find maybe one new starter. But I know our guys can do it, and our coaches have done a nice job. And we're still looking to. We talked to some people. We know that halfbacks are out there. For us, we'd like to give the guys in-house the first shot, but we're still looking.
Stamps and the Bombers kickoff for Friday night's game at McMahon is a little after 7 o'clock. Well, tonight on Golf Tips, checking out that lie for a chip shot around the green. Scott gives us a few different scenarios.
Mackenzie Meadows Golf Tips with PGA Pro Scott Orban.
We're on the 13th hole at Mackenzie Meadows, and we're talking about chip shots around the green. Got 3 balls here, kind of different angles, kind of
little different lies.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk you through my approach on it every chip, because every chip is just not the same. You get different lies, you get different textures in the grass, so you really got to test the surface. So my first one here, I get set up. My feet are below the ball. I'm not thinking about any of that. All I'm thinking about is trying to get that ball in the middle of this club head. So what I always do is I take a couple little passes, just gives me a feel of that grass. And this is pretty gravity, so I do a little one-arm swing because I really like the one-arm swing to test the surface. Then when I'm ready, then I'm ready to go. All right?
There we go. Nice shot.
I hit that first one.
Good shot.
This one I'm getting a little more on top of the ball. So my club's going to actually come up this direction. Again, it's a different shot. And there's a little more grass here. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to open it up a little bit. I'm going to hit a little higher. So I see that trajectory, and you can see I got a much bigger swing.
Oh, good shot.
I hit it out to the right a little, let it roll back, and there you go. So the next one is just sitting on top of the grass. Same thing, I get in here and I test it. But I want to hit this one a little lower because I don't want to go underneath that golf ball. So I'm going to just pick it off of the surface. My little test swings, I'm going to hit it a little lower. So I end up putting it a little bit back in my stance. This one's kind of tough. I closed that one down, but you can see it went a lot lower and rolled out.
Check that grass, right? You know what I mean?
Almost the same lie, but 3 different approaches to those shots.
And next week on Golf Tips, we'll show you how you can get a little creative with that short second shot into the green.
He's got all the tricks.
He's got all. I mean, look at him, man.
Thanks, Glenn. All right, we have a nice evening ahead, Danielle.
Yeah, really nice evening. Enjoy it. Do some barbecuing, go for a walk, because it won't be as bright or as stable for tomorrow. We'll have more cloud cover out there tomorrow than what we had today. Isolated showers are possible here and there, and then after 4 p.m. we get into the risk of thunderstorm activity. It won't be an all-day thing. There will be some sunny breaks, high of 19, but it won't be as lovely as it was today. More stable for Friday, and then less stable once again to kick off the weekend on Saturday. Temperatures around normal for the next few days as well. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. And Larry Jensen sent this one in, and this is a perfect picture to really replicate today. Today we had a good amount of sunshine. We had these nice puffy clouds out there. The grass so green, which is a nice part of all that rain and cold that we got.
Thanks for your company tonight. Have a terrific evening. For breaking news anytime, go to our website.